This is Ryan and Andrew. They host Countdown U pregame. This is Jesse, Lawrence, and David. They bring the color. And these are the guys that we cover.
Crown Produce Canada West football is live on Shaw. Tune in Saturday, October 19th when the Alberta Golden Bears roar into Vancouver to battle it out with the UBC Thunderbirds. Crown Produce Canada West football, only on Shaw.
Every week, every angle, every team.
Whether it's your first home, a refinance, or an investment property, Kia Grant & Associates can find a mortgage solution for you. In association with Verico Paragon, the work she does for you is free. Find her on Facebook at Kia Grant Mortgages.
Legendary punk band DOA have a brand new studio album out now. We Come in Peace. There's also a brand new live album by DOA. Welcome to Chinatown, DOA Live. Get them at suddendeath.com. Welcome to another episode of Touchdown BC. I'm Andrew Wadden. Of course, I am joined by Ryan Sullivan.
Thank you very much, Andrew. There was a huge AFC West battle brewing on the island.
Well, sort of an AFC West battle, but we did have the Broncos and the Raiders. However, it's the Kamloops Broncos, Vancouver Island Raiders that are facing off. It's playoff time, junior football. Let's get right to it. All right, off to gorgeous Vancouver Island we go. First cue, VI get rolling. Ashton Galloway takes the handoff. A couple of jukes, a couple of timely blocks, and he gone. Ashton Kutcher's his way into the end zone. I'm sorry, couldn't help myself. Later in the cue, Broncos forced a punt. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what is called the zombie ball. The ball's dead. Suddenly, it's alive. Dustin Rodriguez scoops up the leather corpse, takes it 65 yards to the crypt, and the Raiders begin to bury the Broncos. Second cue now, Jamari Bennett behind center, takes it to the outside on the power sweep, and that's a powerful pickup right there. Bennett then caps off the drive with his pass to Whitman to Musiak. Raiders in complete control. Later in the cue, Rodriguez back at it again. He's number 85 in your program, but he's number 1 in punt returns. VI put up 28 points in the queue. They take a 42-0 lead into the bathtub break. There wasn't a whole lot of highlights to show you from the Broncos on this day. However, check out this grab. Caleb Grinberg with the tip pass to Corey Rollins, just like they drew it up, but it would be all for nothing. Steve Schuweiler looks to the air, and apparently he didn't look anywhere else. Jackson Wiley with probably the easiest interception in the history of football. The turnover came back to burn the boys from the loops too. Jaden Marwick connects with Andrew DeLeon. AD does the rest. Kamloops unveiling the Matador defense. To say this game was getting out of control, well, that would be an understatement. But it wasn't all that bad for the Broncos. Well, actually, yeah, it was. But here's a look at the only points they put on the board on the day. Derek Yatchison hauls in the major. Kamloops roll into Nanaimo and get gutted by the Raiders, 63-7. Marwick and Bennett were solid behind center for the Raiders. The two combined to toss 229 yards while missing just 5 of their targets and throwing 5 touchdowns. To Musiak caught 3 passes, scoring 2 touchdowns. For the Broncos, Grinberg caught 5 passes for a game-high 160 yards. VI moves on to the Cullen Cup. Just who will they be facing?
Well, in your other BCFC matchup, the Langley Rams ran away with it 24-13, the final score over the Okanagan Sun, meaning that the final takes place at Caledonia Park. Langley Rams, Vancouver Island Raiders, 1 o'clock kickoff. Oh, it's gonna be sweet. You know what's beautiful? The running waters and lush greens of the North Shore. You know what's not beautiful? Those damn bears that won't stay out of your garbage can. Somebody get control of those things. Handsworth was hosting West Vancouver. Right at the foot of Grouse Mountain, we find ourselves West Van visiting the Handsworth Royals. Pick things up with Finn Morales hitting Matthew Anderson in the numbers. Only problem is he plays for Handsworth. Royals decide to move the ball quickly from there. Michael Lemoyne finds Damian Starnes. A solid pickup of 33 right over the top down the middle. Alex Moon then gets caught between the Moon and New York City. He puts the shoulder down and out pops the pigskin. Nice hit, Alex, but you forgot something. West Van recovers on their own too. Break. Back the other way, Morales hits Mateo Lepeur, streaking over the middle, looking like a young Bobby Engram out there. Did cap it off with a three-banger to go ahead 17-13 before the end of the half. Royals' last drive of the second Q, and Lemoyne is picked by Jack Violet. He almost takes it back all the way. Finally ripped down though. He's down at the 4-yard line. West Van though spent their timeout, and with this sack, the half ends 17-13 for West Vancouver. Second half, West Van looking to the air when whoop, ball pops loose and it's Handsworth football. Lemoyne decides it's time to take over after that. He hits Damian Starnes down the sideline for a nice chunk of change. He then takes it himself. Calls his own number. Royals go up 20-17. West Van up to go for it on fourth instead of a field goal inside the Royal red zone. Smart move, it pays off. Then on third and goal, Henry Zelazan, he is not happy we're showing this clip. An absolute gift is dropped, so they settle for the 3-ball. He's upset. And that 3-ball? No. Handsworth with the blockage. They would march it down the field to start the fourth, and it's big Eli Matzel with the textbook stiff arm. Touchdown, Royals. West Van with one last chance late in the fourth, and picked. Good night. See you later. Matt Anderson again with the robbery. Handsworth wins 27-17.
Vancouver College hosting New Westminster. Start things out early. It's Ovi Ojegba taking the rock and then taking off. Ojegba to the outside. He finds the corner, goes 31 yards to the house. BC with the lead. Jordy Balfour threw 4 picks on the day. This one right into the hands of Tristan Sands. Hayaks stealing a little momentum. They couldn't turn it into much though as VC takes over and Balfour finds Matthew Leggs from his own 25. 75 yards later, and this game is Big Rec style, blow wide open. It's a great song. Download it. Make sure you pay for it. And then it's Ovi Ojegba from his own 26. He takes the rock, makes a little juke, pulls a little jive, and he gone. Ojegba getting the job done all over the place. He was a massive addition to the heavyweight BC offense. BC pulls in front and didn't look back. Tommy Robertson would run this one in garbage time, but it'd be too little too late though. The Irish cruise to a 34-21 win.
WJ Mowat hosting Rutland. Let's start things out with Mowat leading 7-blank. It's Jacob Dodd with a nice trot from 15 out. Show another 7 on that scoreboard. It is 14 bagel for WJ. A few series later, Dodd with another look, and Dodd with another touchdown. Make that 28 bagel. Next series for Mowat, yeah, that's Jacob Dodd doing what he does best. It's not an all Dodd pack though. Man with a fantastic name, Justice Dolvich with the thievery here for Rutland. Now watch this spin move and B button. Absolutely gorgeous. That's Tony Wynn with the solid scamper. Touchdown, voodoo. Jacob Dodd started our pack though, and he's going to finish it. This time it's a receiving touchdown. All in all, he had 5 majors on the day, 4 on the ground, 1 through the air. Mowat wins 48-6.
Belmont visiting the Notre Dame Jugglers. Early on, Belmont pressing in the red zone when Joshua Tipton goes over the middle. Finds Jordan Worth for the major. Belmont up early. Jugglers on the offensive now, and it's Theodore Landers calling his own number. Jugglers right back in the thick of things. However, Belmont on this day was just far too strong. Here, Tipton goes to the air again, finds Samuel Vareo for one of his 2 scores on the day. Notre Dame from their own red zone decide to pull some trickery with this fake punt. They fake themselves out of it and get off a terrible boot. Belmont takes over from the 22. They march it to the 3, and Worth caps it off. Belmont goes on to take it, 22-13.
All right, here's the rest of your scores from around AAA. Take a glimpse now at the AAA standings. Here's your AA scoreboard. And here's your AA standings. Let's take a look now at the VMFL scoreboard and standings.
You know, Ryan, those raccoons and bears that get into your garbage, they can be a nuisance, can't they?
They're everywhere. Every time you even get off the North Shore, they just, ah! Oh, I thought I saw a grizzly. It's just Jim Mullen. He's coming up next.
This is Ryan and Andrew. They host Countdown U pregame. This is Jesse, Lawrence, and David. They bring the color. And these are the guys that we cover.
Crown Produce Canada West football is live on Shaw. Tune in Saturday, October 19th when the Alberta Golden Bears roar into Vancouver to battle it out with the UBC Thunderbirds. Crown Produce Canada West football, only on Shaw.
Every week, every angle, every team.
Whether it's your first home, a refinance, or an investment property, Kia Grant & Associates can find a mortgage solution for you. In association with Berico Paragon, the work she does for you is free. Find her on Facebook at Kia Grant Mortgages.
Legendary punk band DOA have a brand new studio album out now. We Come in Peace. There's also a brand new live album by DOA. Welcome to Chinatown, DOA Live. Get them at suddendeath.com.
And welcome back to Touchdown BC, everyone. A very special edition of TDBC as we get to unveil the All-Conference team for the BC Junior Football Conference. Here are your BCFC Offensive All-Stars. Your All-Conference offensive linemen. Anthony Daly of the Langley Rams. Tyler Ohlendorf of the Vancouver Island Raiders. Devin Kozar of the Okanagan Sun. Sean Melismoen of the Langley Rams, and Cameron Brown of the Kamloops Broncos. Here are your all-conference running backs. Kyle Albertini of the Langley Rams, and Alex Bradley of the Okanagan Sun. Your all-conference receivers. Whitman Tamuziak of the VI Raiders. Eric Eggleston of the West Shore Rebels. Tommy Howes of the Okanagan Sun, and Malcolm Williams of the Langley Rams. Your all-conference quarterback is Jamie Ibarra of the VI Raiders. Now let's take a look at your BCFC Defensive All-Stars. Here is your all-conference defensive line. Ash Gayette of the VI Raiders. Braden McCarthy of the Kamloops Broncos. Evan Foster of the Langley Rams, and Jonas Gehring of the Okanagan Sun. Your all-conference linebackers. Grady Chalmers of the Kamloops Broncos. Chris Pastro of the West Shore Rebels. Joe Patko of the Langley Rams, and Dylan Chapdelaine of the VI Raiders. Your defensive backs. Brennan Van Nistelrooy of the Okanagan Sun. Jack Rush of the Okanagan Sun, Robbie Yoakum of the Okanagan Sun, Tyler Hamade of the Langley Rams, and Cole Bishop of the VI Raiders. Now let's take a look at the all-conference team on special teams. Your all-conference punter is Dan Erickson of the Valley Huskers. Place kicker Steve Thomas of the Langley Rams. And returner Robbie Yoakum of the Okanagan Sun.
Now it's time to take a look at the major award winners for the BCFC.
The Ranji Matu Memorial Coach of the Year goes to Matt Walker of the VI Raiders. Your outstanding offensive lineman this year is Anthony Daly of the Langley Rams. Your outstanding offensive back for 2013 is Kyle Albertini of the Langley Rams. Your outstanding receiver is Whitman Tamuziak of the VI Raiders. The BCFC Outstanding Defensive Lineman is Evan Foster of the Langley Rams. The Outstanding Linebacker for 2013 is Dylan Chapdelaine of the VI Raiders. The BCFC Outstanding Defensive Back is Brennan Van Nistelrooy of the Okanagan Sun. The Outstanding Special Teams Player in the conference is Robbie Yoakum of the Okanagan Sun. The BCFC Rookie of the Year for 2013 is Jamie Ibarra, the quarterback for the VI Raiders. The Outstanding Defensive Player in the BCFC for 2013 is Evan Foster of the Langley Rams. The Outstanding Offensive Player for the BCFC in 2013 is Whitman Tamuziak of the VI Raiders.
Congratulations to all the winners and good luck to the VI Raiders and the Langley Rams in the upcoming Cullen Cup at Caledonia Park this Saturday. This is Ryan and Andrew. They host Countdown U pregame. This is Jesse, Lawrence, and David. They bring the color. And these are the guys that we cover.
Ground Produce Canada West football is live on Shaw. Tune in Saturday, October 19th when the Alberta Golden Bears roar into Vancouver to battle it out with the UBC Thunderbirds. Ground Produce Canada West football, only on Shaw.
Every week, every angle, every team. Now it's time to take a look at the O-line. We've got 3 drills coming up for you here. Tom, tell us about the first one.
Well, we call this the window drill. Some people call it shadow drill. Basically, it's an offensive line drill versus pass rush defenses. What we try to do is get the guys working their legs. We don't use their hands in the first part of the drill, and we just want to teach our offensive linemen to stay in front of the defensive player. And the defense players aren't going upfield, they're just working from side to side.
Neil, drill number 2.
Drill number 2, then we're going to, you said the mirror drill, right?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Incorporate the hand fighting.
Yeah, then we're going to go to the hand fighting where, again, it's like combat when the offensive line is trying to get the defensive line's hands off them, not let them grab on, because defense can grab on to us. We're using our hands to combat that.
Number 3, drill number 3.
Well, normally what we do is then we get together with the defensive linemen, and then we prefer to be service with them. But for today, we're going to use our own guys to do a one-on-one pass rush, and we're going to try to go from the mirror drill to the hand fighting drill, and just to let the defense linemen who are played by the offense linemen to actually put a pass rush move on, and we'll see how put it all together and see if our guys are ready for it.
Now, is there any sort of adjustment that you guys need to make coaching Canadian versus American because of the 1 yard off the ball? Because we've got community guys in there looking in, and we've got high school guys looking in. What sort of adjustments do you have to make in these drills?
Well, I think you've got the yard off the ball, which again is a little bit of space that gives the defensive player a little bit of room to move. As an offensive line, we want to take up that space as quick as possible. And like I always said in the American rule, usually the second step could be the winner. In the Canadian, it's almost the third step is the winner, when we go in the battle with against the defense. But that little bit of space is a lot of space for the defense to do their stuff, where we got to try and make that space up real tight and bring it in tight really quickly.
It's a lot of space, but you can make the adjustments in these drills, can't you?
Well, absolutely. And the big thing we try to do from the offensive line perspective is to teach patience and not to be too aggressive. And you see a lot of that in high school, where the offensive lineman thinks they're going to surprise the D D lineman and attack them more like a run block. And it does work from time to time, but most of the time it doesn't, And so we have to teach patience, good technique, good body position. And really, there is a point though where they're coming at you where you have to submit a real hit. You have to pop the guy coming to slow down his momentum.
Well, let's go to drill number 1. Okay, so this is the shadow drill.
This is the shadow drill. This is you're trying to get the offensive linemen to not use their hands, but just to be making sure their feet are moving as fast as they can, left to right, and you're trying to take up the body of the defender. A lot of times, if you put the hands in, they'll start to lean forward. This teaches them to keep better posture, and then, like I say, usually you add the hands to the next part of the drill. But right now, we want them just to be using their brains and their legs and making sure that their hips and their shoulders stay square, and relative in parallel there too, so they're not leaning forward. Like I say, and the hands behind the back, it sets them off a little bit helps them force a balance piece. A little bit of mind and muscle happening here.
Where should your foot position be relative to your shoulder position? Should they be under or wider than?
No, they should be under you because you're going to move left to right. If you get too wide, you slow down. And then it's too much moving. Then you're leaning your shoulders. You're starting to pull. You want your shoulders and your hips, everything all in line. You got to get quick and be fast. There's a perfect example. This guy's trying really hard to stay in front of him. Guy's moving a little fast, which is okay, but he's staying nice and square, not getting too over thing. Because you start bending, then your defender's going to get you.
You talk about bending. What sort of degree, what sort of angle should you be compressed at? What?
It depends on the size of the athlete. I always tell the guys, especially the bigger guys, I tell them to play skinny and get wide. If they get too wide too fast, because they're such big bodies, it's harder for them to move. The other thing is I try and keep the feet where the shoulders, about shoulder lengths apart when you're moving back and forth. But you have to be anchored. You got to have your feet down. You'll watch here a little bit on the toes. I would tell him that you want to be more solid on your feet, because you're on your toes. If he was to hit you, you're not going to be off balance. Again, trying pointing the toes forward, sometimes the inside of the balls of your feet as your anchors into the ground. Some coaches say you should think your feet are almost 6 inches into the ground, that you're anchored so you can take the hit. But in this drill, we're moving side to side.
So in this drill, we want you guys to keep that post leg back. If you're on the left side or if it's on the right side, keep it back and slide in the same position, okay? Can you do it again?
Really important to be bending the knees. You're bending the knees, not at the waist. Again, with some of the big guys, it's easier for them to bend at the waist than at the knees. But offensive linemen, we play down low. Your knees have to be bent, and that's just as like shock absorbers to take the hit when they come. That your knees work like springs.
That's the way to pick up on that. Good job, Riera.
Now, if you're running a community program, you're running a high school program. How often are you running this drill with your players?
If you're a passing team, you got to do it a lot, because this is more a little bit of a pass protection piece. I know a lot of, like I say, younger groups, they'll go with just kind of a slide group where the whole offensive line works together. This is more when we're going like one-on-one. If you're doing a 5-step drop back for the quarterback where it's true pass protection, then you're into a position where you're posting and you're kick stepping, where you have to be in line with your guy. Again, younger groups will go with a slide. It's an easier thing where you got 5 guys all moving at the same time for the protection.
Now, I noticed on that last one, the O-lineman was turning a little bit. Do you want him to be going side to side, not turning?
Shoulders. You want square shoulders. As soon as you turn your shoulders, you actually give a doorway for the defensive lineman to beat you. You want to stay very square, very square. And again, like Coach Gadab was saying, one foot may be back as you got your post up front with most weight. That doesn't mean because your foot goes back that you turn your shoulders. You still need to stay square. See, I'd say he's playing a little high. Like I say, his knees, he should be playing down a little bit lower. Just once you stand up in the defense line, there's that yard play again, that if you're standing up, that yard is he's gonna hammer you.
Okay, now let's go to the second part of the drill.
Okay, next 2 guys. Second part of the drill, guys. Give me 2 in each. So now we're gonna get the hands involved. So defensive guys, this time your job is to try to grab, if I'm playing in your spot, you got your hands not behind your back now, they're in elbows in, thumbs up, and I'm the offensive guy, but the defensive guy, your job is to try to grab the shoulders and turn them. Okay, you're not going upfield and putting an arm under move or anything like that at this point. You're still working side to side, but we're trying to get you to use your hands now a little bit.
So now we move from the feet to the hands. We actually get the hands involved here.
Absolutely. It's a big one. The defender can grab onto you, and we want to keep his hand. He's trying to grab onto you to get a read, and we don't want his hands on us. So he's trying to give him a pop with a punch. We call it a punch. His elbow should be in tighter. Again, his hands are up nice. They should be right up and almost like at the chest level. But again, defender's trying to grab to make a move. They're going to pull or they're going to rip. Different types of defensive move. Offensive lineman wants to give him that pop to take his momentum away too. Especially if you've got a big guy going against a little guy, the big guy is going to try and bull rush that guy. That initial pop with the punch takes his momentum away so you can reset your feet and you can get in a better position. Again, same rules apply. Knee should be bent, should be square.
In terms of deficiencies, in terms of bad habits, what comes out in this drill?
Bad habits are hands, lazy hands coming down, elbows out. We call it supermanning when they go to punch and they wind up. As soon as you wind up, if a defender's fast, he's going to take advantage of that. And like I say, standing up is a big one. Like, you got to stay low when you want to hit him in the chest. You want to take that, you've got to have an aiming point, which is usually the middle of the chest, and that's your aiming point. That's where your eye should be. The other piece that happens is guys will drop their head. They go for the lunge. As soon as you go for a lunge, he'll grab and go around you. You got to make sure your old linemen, when they're up against a pass blocker, that they don't lunge. They stay patient. Tom said it earlier. Staying patient and just doing the punch to take the momentum away.
So you can see sometimes when the hands drop, you can see sometimes when the head drops.
Yep.
How do you actually correct those bad habits?
I went to a camp a while ago, and one of the best ones I saw for the head drop is for a kid to put a baseball cap on backwards, and he should be cocking his head back and feel the brim of the hat on the back of his shoulder blades. And as soon as you take your head back, then your head's going down to keep it cocked. And also for protection of his head too, so we don't want his head involved there. It's not for a danger piece too. Shoulders and elbows. There's all kinds of things. I've seen guys put sponges under their elbows, and if they drop the sponge, obviously their elbows have come out. Some people wrap the hands. They put like an elastic piece around the hands, so it doesn't really keep the hands up, but it makes the player cautious that he has to have those hands up, just as a reminder through a drill when you kind of go through a walkthrough drill. A lot of things they can do here, what we're doing right now. Kids can do this without having a defender there. These are things they can do in their backyard. These are things they can do in front of a mirror. Or we tell some of our guys for part of their warm down when they're in the weight room is that they can do that in front of a mirror or even just on the floor, is practice their footsteps and their posture. Have somebody critique them and stand there and hold it. It's very uncomfortable to bend your knees and have your elbows in and your hands up. You hold that for a couple minutes. It gets very uncomfortable, but it's trying to get that kind of memory muscle, that brain muscle kind of remembering of where you are, make it easier.
And I would think too that video, if you're a coach, if you have the ability to shoot one of these, is a great way to show a player how to correct some of their deficiencies.
Absolutely. Almost all our individual drills at UBC are all filmed, and we right down to the footsteps, to the inches, to the of where their feet are, where their shoulders are, where their elbows are. Video is a great way to kind of look at stuff. It's also a great way for a player who thinks he's doing it right to see himself and realize he's not. Realize that his elbows are out. Realize that he is reaching or his head is down.
And thanks to camcorders at any level, you can use that and apply.
Hey, UBC, we have a few of us coaches that use our iPhones just to tape it. So, and again, it's just to show somebody really quickly what they're doing.
So the offensive guys with their backs to the coaches. Okay, the offensive guy. You're not expecting a move right away. He's going to do a little bit of shuffle, a little bit of grabbing, but then he's going to try to beat you. He's going to beat you when coach or me put our hands up. Okay, so we'll be behind you guys. We'll put our hands up. That's when you can try to beat them live, okay? It's not going to be right away, though. Okay? On my command.
Okay, what's Coach Kadaba doing here in drill number 3?
You're actually putting them all together now. So there's going to be feet, hands, and then it's going to put it into a realistic thing where the guy is going to try and make the move and try and beat him. So now it's to try and put all three of those things together. What a lot of young kids and even older kids happen, now everything speeds up because now they're doing everything together. Now they forget everything that you just taught them, and now it becomes they're trying to just survive out there. And that's again where film becomes really important. That's a great job there, is that you kind of put everything together now, that you're keeping your feet and get the hands going, and then when the guy's trying to beat you, it's still trying to maintain square shoulders.
As we've seen with most of the drills here today at this Team BC camp, this is a natural progression. You work from feet to hands, and then you put it all together. Good things work in threes, don't they?
Absolutely, and it's funny you say that because even here, because we're time crunched this weekend for the Team BC, but even our very first drill we were doing over with the U16s was we went into a stance. We went from a stance to first step, second baby steps, and we went all the way through. That's the life of an offensive lineman. We don't get to catch the ball. Most of our stuff is footsteps and punching, and it's repetition, repetition, repetition. So when it does speed up into competition, that it all comes together.
Side to side, side to side. That's it. Okay. There.